What's going on, everyone? A couple of weeks back, I made a video talking about how Putin was sitting with a bunch of flight attendants. Well, actually, it was a live stream, and how this video was extraordinarily suspicious and strange, and how his appearance was glowing and it almost looked like it was a deep fake or CGI, even like a hologram, or whether it was just green screens. The point is that it didn't look like he was actually sitting amongst the flight attendants, and that sort of behavior of his is confirmed um, in his own parliament building. So I recently saw a video where I guess it was released 3 days before the invasion, where he was asking you know, his initial group of politicians if they were going to vote whether they were going to attack Ukraine or not. Vote in quotations, keep in mind. And he was sitting like 50 feet apart from them. He was alone in his marble table. He had his very scared looking cronies and henchmen very far away from them, which makes sense because he doesn't trust anyone, and neither should he trust anyone, to be perfectly honest, because I can imagine a whole host of people would want to take him out. It's just so clear and obvious. It takes two brain cells to figure it out. So he sits 30 feet away from them. No more. It was like 50 feet. They were so far away he could barely hear what they were saying. So what makes you think that he's going to sit with a bunch of flight attendants? Which is my next point. What makes you think that he's going to be in a stadium with 80,000 people, which was the newest video released? Supposedly, Putin held this rally, this massive war support rally in Moscow in this massive stadium, and there was 80,000 people in attendance. Um, Supposedly the purpose of this rally was to get rid of all the Nazis or whatever. I'm not going to debate that right now. My point is that there's questionable things about this video too, and I can't find the whole thing anywhere. There's only been 2-minute snippets here and there that have been released. But from what I could see, it is definitely more convincing than the obviously fake flight attendant video. It was super. I mean, I suppose it could possibly be real. I mean, it did kind of look like he was there, but there were still some things that were very off. For example, the audio. Again, I had the issue with the audio with the flight attendant video as well. There was like something that didn't match his voice and the voice of the flight attendants. It sounded like they were in separate rooms, or like it wasn't in the same environment. It's similar to this where he's giving this speech and the audience cheering and his speech don't match. It's like it was dubbed in or edited in later. And he himself could be a hologram. And this is nothing conspiratorial. We know that there have been concert holograms for years now. Since 2012, Coachella had Tupac Shakur come out in hologram form, and even for 2012, he looked pretty damn convincing. Imagine how realistic they can make someone look now. So it's not a stretch to say that if there was a rally in the stadium, then it was probably a hologram. However, there's another problem with this. And there's people who claim that footage from that particular stadium was from years ago. There's people that are supposedly matching it up with I don't know, a soccer event or some sort of different type of event that happened years back, and it's being overlapped to supposedly be today. Um, However, it could have been a real rally. I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of hard to fake. I would agree with that. However, and then there was another weird thing, and the next weird thing is that he was doing a speech, and abruptly in the middle of the speech, it cut off immediately and went right to some song, some stupid song, and that just makes no sense. I can only like how why would you edit it like that unless something went wrong and the hologram was exposed or something happened to expose the fakery. I don't know. Anyway, I'm learning some new things I never learned before, which are somewhat disturbing. Uh, I've learned that Russia actually has the mentality of winning a nuclear war as opposed to the common consensus of mutually assured destruction, which is both nations get destroyed. And they have some very compelling reasons why they could absolutely obliterate us, if this is all true, of course. I was not aware that we only have 15 or 1,300 active missiles that can actually be launched at a moment's notice. Several thousand others are deep in storage, and it would take 6 months to a year to activate them and ready them for launch, as opposed to Russia that has 5,000 active and ready to launch missiles. Not only that, our submarines don't have ICBMs, and they would have to go very close to shore in order to launch. Their submarines can launch from port. They don't have to go anywhere and hit us. They have hypersonic missiles, and so does China, that are very hard for defense systems to stop. Probably impossible. Just like the Poseidon nuclear torpedo, which supposedly is also almost impossible to stop. And that's the one that creates the 1,000-foot radioactive tsunami that goes 100 miles inland. They have the Cobalt 65 bomb, which would radiate an area the size of Texas. They have a lot of advantages, actually. And that's a little bit concerning considering how much we spend on defense and how much of that money just goes right into the toilet, it seems, instead of being going towards something very practical, unless there is, of course, secret stuff that we don't know about, which there obviously is. So I suppose it's possible that we do have better stuff than that. We just don't know about it. And I kind of hope that's the case. But they better tell them, because if they find out that we have the better stuff, then maybe they'll think twice before taking some sort of stupid action against us. And then, of course, there's other parties involved and so on and so forth. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know. I'm starting to think Ukraine is a diversion and a distraction specifically for this reason, for them to attempt to bring down the West. If they can't do it monetarily by getting rid of the petrodollar, then unfortunately, I believe they'll be bold enough to do that first strike. But we'll see, I suppose. There's some concerning stuff. Apparently, few days ago, there was a bunch of planes caught on radar leaving Moscow, and they were all headed directly into the their main government nuclear bunker, their version of Mount Weather in the Ural Mountains. And there's dozens of these planes that left Moscow directly for that location, which is why I don't believe Putin's out in public parading himself in front of 80,000 people, because a person as paranoid as that would not expose himself to 80,000 people. It's just common sense for any dictator to do, especially since people have put $1 million bounty on him, which I don't understand why it's such a low amount. I mean, it should be a $40 million bounty, but anywho, I think I'm really starting to blabber now. I just wanted to make two key points here is that I think all these public videos are fake and propaganda. I think that Russia truly does think that they would win a nuclear war. And those are my 2 points. And I'll see you guys sometime soon. I'll go live sometime soon. I'll see when. I'm just sort of brain dead lately and can't seem to think. Hopefully, I'll get that back.